Well, Luka Doncic has made it to the NBA Finals in this, just his 6th season at the age of only 25. And he has now been to the conference finals twice already and been named first-team All-NBA for the last 5 consecutive years while turning in 3 top 5 MVP finishes. Yet it was just a few short weeks ago that several talking heads populating the hypocritical and inept NBA media thought Doncic was being overrated.
Can you trust him? Kyrie, can you trust him? Luka, can you trust him?
That Anthony Edwards deserved to be on the first team over him.
If I had to go to Anthony Edwards and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Over Brunson?
Over Doncic? And
over Doncic?
Yeah, that would be second team.
That Anthony Edwards was the superior player as compared to him.
No, it's not. It's Anthony Edwards. He's the best. Well, he's been the best player in the series in the last 2 series.
But hell, why stop there? Even Jalen Brunson was being bandied about as a more deserving candidate than Luka.
I definitely thought that
Trigger
Jalen
word.
Brunson deserved to be first team. Believe it or not, even ahead of Luka.
A guy who led the league in scoring and was 3rd in assists this regular season. A guy who averaged damn near a 35-point triple-double for the year. Not first-team All-NBA caliber. And now, just a few short weeks away from those bumbling morons making their inept media tours to trash Doncic, he has exposed and humiliated them all on the heels of an NBA Finals run where he was doubted and picked against every stage of the way.
And I certainly don't believe Oklahoma City is going to lose to Dallas.
The doubt and the disrespect is nothing new in what has become a shocking display of ignorance and hatred directed towards foreign-born players as of late, deemed to be less athletic than today's breed of super athletes.
I know what they can do. Get rid of all the Europeans. They have no athleticism, right? They have no speed, no jumping ability.
You know, the ones we have been hearing about for years now that would have rendered previous generations of greats helpless and incapable of competing against the advanced genetics of this era's players.
They're not athletic enough to play the position.
Of course, Nikola Jokic has been out on an island absorbing this pathetic, uneducated hate, routinely diminished and disparaged on the way to every accolade he receives.
He is the worst MVP winner in the last 40 years.
Last season, it was Joel Embiid, who was the anyone but Jokic candidate of choice, while this year it was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP. Not Jokic. Not Luka.
Most
not.
valuable
It
player in
does
the
not
league,
go
that's
to
Shai
you.
Gilgeous-Alexander.
Luka Doncic, meanwhile, finished 3rd this year in MVP voting, posting per-game averages this season of 34 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds. Oh, and he matched up with Shai in the Western Conference semis and ended his season. Still though, no one wanted to give this guy any respect. Perhaps now that he has made it into an NBA Finals, people will start taking notice. Start taking notice of a player who has been first-team All-NBA every year he's been in the NBA except his rookie season. A player who is currently boasting the 3rd highest scoring average in NBA history, behind only Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain, while his 31.1 points per game in the playoffs is the 2nd highest average ever behind only Michael Jordan. Last season, Nikola Jokic became the first and only player in NBA playoff history to lead an entire postseason in points, rebounds, and assists. Nearly 80 years of tracking data, and no one has ever accomplished it until last season, when Nikola averaged 30 points per game, 13.5 rebounds, and 9.5 assists for the playoffs and easily won the title. And now here we are, 1 year later. Doncic enters the NBA Finals averaging 29 points per game, 9.5 rebounds, and 9 assists in these playoffs and is going to join Jokic in the feat he accomplished just last season. as Doncic will lead the playoffs in all 3 statistical categories. Now, Luka still needs to find a way to 4 more wins in the next round to get anywhere close to the conversation, which as far as I am concerned, still begins and ends with Nikola Jokic, with his only close counterpart at this time being Giannis Antetokounmpo.
What?
Yes! While we are currently on this respect tour, can we get some for Giannis, please? He has made 6 straight first-team All-NBA selections while being first-team defense 4 of those years and winning Defensive Player of the Year in 1 of them. He won a championship with Chris Middleton as his second option, won 4 straight finals games after falling behind 0-2 to start that series, including a 50-point game in the series clinching Game 6. While Jokic, of course, won his title a year ago with a roster that had 0 players on it in their top 8-man rotation that ever made a single All-Star game or All-NBA selection. Doncic, meanwhile, is lucky enough to be playing beside the great Kyrie Irving. This isn't about saying Luka is the best player ever or in Michael Jordan conversations. It's not even about saying he's the best player right now, but he is as good or better than several of the players that have been uplifted by the frauds perpetrating around as journalists in recent years, while the amount of ignorance and sheer hatred they have been directing towards Luka has reached absurd levels. Perhaps with the current playoff run he is authoring, we can finally start giving him the ample amount of respect he deserves.